The Blessed One addressed Mahamati the Bodhisattva Mahasattva. Mahamati, you should hold forth these magical phrases of the Lankavatara, which were recited, are recited, and will be recited by the Buddhas of the past, present, and future. I will recite them here for the benefit of the proclaimers of the Dharma, who will retain them in memory. They are Tut, Tut, Voot, Voot, Pat, Pat, Cat, Cat, Amali, Amali, Vamale, Vamale, Nime, Nime, Haim, Haim, Vame, Vame, Kale, 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 Ati, Mat, Vat, Tut, J Neti, Sput, Cat, Cat, Latte, Pat, Dime, Dime, Kale, Kale, Pace, Pace, Bada, Banda, Ons, Mance, Dutare, Dutare, Patare, Patare, Arca, Arca, Sarka, Sarka, Kakre, Kakre, Dime, Dime, Haim, Haim, 2222, Do 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 Do, Ru 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 Ru, Fu 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 Fu, Svaha. These, Mahamati, are the magical phrases of the Lankavatara Mahayana Sutra. If sons and daughters of good family should hold forth, retain, proclaim, realize these magical phrases, no one should ever be able to effect his descent upon them. Whether it be a god, or a goddess, or a naga, or a nagi, or a yaksha, or a yakshi, or an asura, or an asuri, or a garuda, or a garudi, or a kanara, or a kanari, or a mahoraga, or a mahoragi, or a gandhava, or a gandhavi, or a bhuta, or a bhuti, or a kumbhanda, or a kumbhandi, or a pisara, or a pisachi, or an ostaraka, or an ostaraki, or a apasmara, or an apasmari, or a rakshasa, or a rakshasi, or a daka, or a dakini, or an ojahara, or an ojahari, or a kataputana, or a katapatani, or an amanushya, or an amanushi. No one of these will be able to effect his or her descent upon the holder of these magical phrases. If any misfortune should befall, let him recite the magical phrases for 108 times, and the evil ones will, wailing and crying, turn away and go in another direction. I will tell you, Mahamati, other magical phrases. They are Padme, Padmadiv, Hein, Hini, Hein, Siu, Kul, Yulu, Kul, Fale, Fula, Pule, Yul, Gul, Yula, Yul, Gul, Gula, Gul, Pale, Pala, Pale, Months, 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 Kinde, Binde, Banjay, Mard, Pramad, Dinakare, Svaha. If, Mahamati, any son or daughter of good family should hold forth, retain, proclaim, and realize these magical phrases, on him or her no evil beings should be able to make their descent. Whether it be a god, or a goddess, or a naga, or a nagi, or a yaksha, or a yakshi, or an asura, or an asuri, a garuda, or a garudi, or a kanara, or a kanari, or a mahoraga, or a mahoragi, or a gandhava, or a gandhavi, or a bhuta, or a bhuti, or a kumbhanda, or a kumbhandi, or a pasaka, or a pisachi, or an ostaraka, or an ostaraki, or an apasmara, or an apasmari, or a rakshasa, or a rakshasi, or a daka, or a dakini, or an ojahara, or an ojahari, or a kataputana, or a katapatani, or an amanushya, or an amanushi. No one of these will be able to effect his or her descent upon the holder of these magical phrases. By him who will recite these magic phrases, the whole Lankavatara Sutra will be recited. These magic phrases are given by the Blessed One to guard against the interference of the Rakshasas. Here ends the 9th chapter called Dharani in the Lankavatara. Sagatharkam 1. Listen to the wonderful Mahayana doctrine, declared in this Lankavatara Sutra, composed into verse gems, and destroying a net of the philosophical views. At that time Mahamati the Bodhisattva Mahasattva said this to the Blessed One. 2. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 3. 7. 8. 9. 10. These individual objects are not solid realities. They rise because of imagination. As the imagination itself is empty, what is imagined is empty. 11. 12. 13. By wrong discrimination the Vijnana system rises. Severally as eightfold, as ninefold, one like waves on the great ocean. 14. The root is constantly nourished by habit energy, firmly attached to the seat. The mind moves along with an objective world as iron is drawn by the lodestone. 15. The original source on which all sentient beings are dependent is beyond theorization. All doings cease and emancipation obtains, knowing and known are transcended. 16. In the Samadhi known as Maya-like, one goes beyond the 10 stages of Bodhisattvaship. One who is removed from thought and knowledge perceives the Mind King. 17. When a turning back takes place in the mind, one abides permanently in the palace of lotus-form, which is born of the realm of Maya. 18. Abiding in it one attains a life of imagelessness, and, like a many-colored jewel, performs religious deeds for all beings. 19. Except for discrimination, there is neither Samskrita nor Asamskrita. The ignorant hold on to them as a barren woman does to the child of her dream. What fools they are! 20. Let it be known that without self-nature, unborn, and empty are a personal soul, the skandha continuity, causation, the dharanis, and the notion of existence and non-existence. 21. To me teaching is an expedient, but I do not teach external signs. The ignorant because of their attachment to existence seize on signified and signifying. 22. A knower of all things is not an all-knower, and all is not within all. The ignorant discriminate and think, I am the enlightened one in the world. But I am not enlightened nor do I enlighten others. 23. 24. Opening parenthesis. Chapter E, verse 143 and the first half of 144. Closing parenthesis. 25. 1. 26. 27. These things are empty, without self-nature, and unborn, like Maya, like a dream, and their being and non-being is unobtainable. 28. One self-nature I teach, which is removed from speculation and thought construction, which belongs to the exquisite spiritual realm of the wise, removed from the two svabhavas i.e., the parikalpita and the paratantra. 29. Though multitudinousness of things has no real existence as such, they appear to the intoxicated as like fireflies because of their constitutional disturbance. Likewise is the world essentially appearance. 30. As Maya is manifested depending on grass, wood, and brick, though Maya itself is non-existent, so are all things essentially mere appearances. 31. There is neither seizing nor seized, neither bound nor binding. All is like Maya, like a mirage, like a dream, like an affected eye. 32. When the truth seeker sees the truth devoid of discrimination and free from impurities, then he is accomplished in his contemplation. He sees me, there is no doubt. 33. In this there is nothing of thought construction. It is like a mirage in the air. Those who thus see all things, see nothing whatever. 2. 34. In causation which governs being and non-being things do not originate. In the triple world the mind is perturbed, therefore multiplicities appear. 35. The world is the same as a dream, and so are the multiplicities of things in it. The wise see property, touch, death, a world teacher, and work as of the same nature. 1. 36. This mind is the source of the triple world. When the mind goes astray there appears this world and that. Recognizing the world as such, as it is non-existent, a wise man does not discriminate a world. 37. The ignorant because of their stupidity see an objective world as taking its rise and disappearing, but he who has transcendental knowledge sees it neither rising nor disappearing. 38. Those who are always above discrimination, in conformity with truth, and removed from mind and its belongings, are in the celestial palace of Akanishtha where all evils are discarded. 39. Such attain the powers, psychic faculties, and self-control, are thoroughly adept in the samadhis, and are there in the heaven awakened to enlightenment. But the transformed ones are awakened here on earth. 40. The Buddhas appear on earth in their innumerable transformation bodies beyond calculation, and everywhere the ignorant following them listen to the Dharma. 41. There is one thing which is released from such conditions of existence as beginning, middle, and ending, removed from existence and non-existence, all-pervading, immovable, pure, and above multiplicity, and yet producing multiplicity. 42. There is an essence too entirely covered by thought constructions and hidden inside all that has body. Because of perversion there is Maya. Maya, however, is not the cause of perversion. 43. Even because of the mind being deluded, there is a somewhat perceived as real. Being bound up with the two svabhavas there is the transformation of the alaya Vijnana. 44. The world is no more than thought construction, and there rages an ocean of views as regards ego and things. When the world is clearly perceived as such and there takes place a revulsion one in the mind, this one is my child who is devoted to the truth of perfect knowledge. 45. Things are discriminated by the ignorant as heat, fluidity, motility, and solidity. They are, however, unrealities asserted. There is neither signified nor signifying. 46. But this body, form and senses are made of the 8 substances. Deluded in the cage of transmigration, the ignorant thus discriminate this phenomenal world. 47. In the intermingling of causes and conditions, the ignorant imagine the birth of all things. But as they do not understand the truth, they go astray in this abode of the triple world. 48. 49. What is known as multiplicity seeds multiply in the mind. In what is revealed, the ignorant imagine birth and are delighted with dualism. 50. Ignorance, desire, and karma. They are the causes of mind and its belongings. Too as they evolve thus relatively, they are recognized by me to be paratantric. 51. When the field of mentation gets confused, they imagine that there is something real to take hold of. In this imagination there is no perfect knowledge, it is false imagination rising from delusion. 52. When bound in conditions there evolves a mind in all beings. When released from conditions, I say, I see no mind rising. 53. When the mind, released from conditions and unsupported by thought of self, abides no longer in the body, to me there is no objective world. 54 and 55. 56. 57. So the flood of the alaya Vijnana is always stirred by the winds of objectivity, and goes on dancing with the various Vijnana waves. 58. Because there is that which is seized and that which seizes, mind rises in all beings. There are no such signs visible in the world as are imagined by the ignorant. 59. There is the highest alaya Vijnana, and again there is the alaya as thought construction. I teach suchness that is above seized and seizing. 60. Neither an ego, nor a being, nor a person exists in the skandhas. There is birth when the Vijnana is born, and cessation when the Vijnana ceases. 61. As a picture shows highness and lowness while in reality there is nothing of the sort in it. So in things existent there is thingness seen as real, while there is nothing of the sort in them. 62. The visible world has always the appearance of the city of the Gandharvas and that of Fata Morgana. It is to be regarded as such, but it does not thus exist to the transcendental wisdom of the wise. 63 and 64. 65. A proposition is established by means of conditions, reasons, and examples, such as a dream, the Gandharva's castle, firewheel, mirage, the moon, the sun. 66. By such examples as flame, hair, etc. I teach that birth is something not to be recognized really as such. 1. The world is something imagined, empty like a dream, or maya, which is error. 67. The triple world has nowhere to place itself, either within nor without, it is thus homeless. Seeing that all beings are unborn, there grows a full acceptance of the truth that nothing is ever born. 68. He will then attain the Samadhi called Maya-like, the will-body, the psychic faculties, the self-mastery, the various powers belonging to the mind. 69. All things existent are unborn, empty, and without self-substance. And the delusion about them rises and ceases in accordance with conditions. 70. Depending upon the mind, there appears within a mind and, without a world of individual objects, this and no other is an external world which is imagined by the ignorant.